Alright guys, I am back, and I'm actually going to adjust some volume levels right off the bat, because I think there's some issues with that. So, I'm going to turn some stuff down, and hopefully this will be better. I don't know, we'll check. If it's not, then it's not, and I'll have to fix that later, but for now I'm just messing with some levels. It should be even, so at the very least you can turn stuff up or turn stuff, I don't know, whatever. Let's stop talking about volume. Anyway, round of 16, Solaire Club taking on Dishonored, which has some names you should probably recognize on the Hellborn side. And going to be joined by Count Crapula for our first cast of Gold Division Cycle 5. Are you excited?
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. You didn't say if you're excited or not.
Oh, I'm excited. Yeah, I'm so excited for this match. I have no idea about the outcome. Or I think I know the outcome, but yeah.
God damn it,
I'm not sure.
Max is telling us right frickin' now that he's done, so let's get him in here.
Alright.
We can get him. We've just barely started, so it shouldn't be that big of a problem. Alright, we just started the game, so if you can hop in quickly, then we can get you synced up and good to go.
What's the ID?
I just put it in Skype chat.
Oh.
So, find it,
Excellent.
download it, turn on auto skip pause by using this command, and let us know when you're loaded in, and we will tell you what time to go to in the replay.
Okay, fair enough. Just a sec.
Alright. Meantime, there's a game going on, so it's good to talk about that at some point. First couple of bands were somehow... Oh, I did clear, that's why. Ophelia, Parasite, Ravener, and Cthulhuphant were the first 4 bands, so nothing... Well, there's something crazy there, which is the Ravener. Which is...
Yeah,
okay.
it's not particularly strange,
It's
considering it now.
Yeah, it's because of now.
Yeah,
so.
it plays a fair bit,
yeah.
to say the least.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we banned it against him as well, so... Right. Yeah, it's nothing strange about that. I think it's really good against on that hero. I haven't really seen him play it much in tournament mode, but in TMM he's playing it really well. And I feel like he's weaker on other heroes, so might as well remove it.
Right. I think I've seen him play it in competitive a couple of times, and it didn't go all that well, so... I don't know. Well, whatever. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, like, as long as you take a team out of the comfort zone, it's
right, exactly.
still good.
Yeah, I mean, if you only have a couple of heroes you really feel comfortable with, then banning one of them out, and especially one that Solaire Club probably isn't going to play. It's not like it hurts them that much to ban the Ravener. Not only do they have first pick as Legion, but they're not going to pick that hero, so it's not that big.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's especially when they're Legion, it's not much of a concern since they had the first pick regardless if powerful heroes get left up. So.
Right, and they did, of course, because they first picked Swiftblade into Kraken and Tempest. Man, that's a hell of a start from Solaire Club. Hellborn going to counter with Magnus, Revenant, and Drunken Master, which is, in my opinion, not a hell of a start. Magnus is a good start, but Revenant and Drunken Master is not great. And then I follow with Empath. Ugh. Rhapsody. I'm feeling really worried about Dishonored here, but before we start to rag on them too much, I want to talk about the team a little bit because this is some, like I said, recognizable names. King Nick, I believe, was in TZP or a Twisted Fusion. He was in a competitive team at least somewhat recently, and I think it was one of those. It's always difficult for me to remember who's in those teams, except for now because I love TZP.
Yeah, I have no idea if it was in our team. I think Axel would know.
Yeah.
I wasn't listening. What did you say?
Was King Nick ever in our team?
No, I don't think we ever had him on our team. I should know though. I've been like in this team forever.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. It might have been Twisted Fusion then. It probably was. Yeah, probably. Twisted Fusion has changed a lot in the last couple of months at least. But yeah, he was definitely in. He was playing support for somebody's team, and I don't remember who now. But anyway, Side Cash from Adrian's family, now who's bounced around a lot, and Smexy Style, who has been in a couple of different teams. I don't remember the last one he was actually in, but at least 4 players there that have some pretty significant competitive history. I don't know who Bezo is, but I don't know. You have any idea?
I recognize his name from somewhere, but yeah, I don't know. It's not a player I'm familiar with.
Right. Okay. Well. They've picked Shadowblade. I guess the only thing I can say about that is I know Nullstone Gaming have been experimenting with that hero a little bit. I don't know if they're really ready to bust it out in competitive yet, but we'll see. And
yeah, I honestly think the hero has potential. I'm not sure if it's that good here though, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if it gets going, it's basically impossible to deal with because it gets like 4,500 health and just sits there and beats on your towers, and you're like, what do I do about this? But if you can shut it down early, it's not that tanky early on. There's no real great escape mechanism except for that, what is it, Faint Siphon?
Yeah.
I think, yeah. So it's annoying to deal with, but it doesn't have too much chase potential even with that leap. It doesn't have all that much damage early on. I don't know. It's got some early game issues in my opinion, but we'll see how it does. Anyway, I did finish the draft off with a Flux, which is a little bit interesting. We don't typically see Flux, but I think this is a very good hero, and I'm excited to see it because one that we should probably see a little bit more. Hellborn sides did finish off their draft with Rhapsody and that Shadowblade, of course, so obviously picking up one of the best supports in the game. Damn it, you're a banger. We're just talking about you. But you favoring either side at this point?
I would favor Legion side, definitely. I think they have stronger lanes. I think they have, I don't know. I mean, apart from that, Hellborn team is also like lacking a bit when it comes to. They don't really have that much damage.
Yeah.
Like Drunken Master doesn't do a lot. Shadowblade doesn't do a lot. Like, I don't see where they are getting the damage from apart from Magnus, and they also like they struggle to make plays out of Magnus portal key. If Legion can manage to shut that down, they won't have like any way to accomplish things. While Legion side obviously has amazing teamfight potential, and without like a superior interrupt. Apart from Lunge, which is really thick against Tempest, like I don't even think Hellborn has a late game edge. So yeah, I think Legion's draft is far superior to Hellborn's here.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with pretty much all of that. I mean, I think they will have a little bit of damage once Magnus gets a PK and you get an eruption off. The problem is, if they can survive the eruption, there's basically nothing there, and if Magnus doesn't get a good eruption off, there's nothing there, especially in the early game. I mean, Revenant is a good damage dealer, but he doesn't have any lockdown, which means he can't do anything by himself, really. He's going to need 2 or 3 more heroes along with him to kill anybody. And
okay, I don't want to interrupt you guys, but how far in are you?
Okay, no, it's perfectly acceptable to interrupt us. 7:30 on the replay counter, just hit 7:30, 7:31, 7:32, 7:33, 7:34, 7:35, 36, 37, 38, 40, 42.
Almost.
36.
Okay, I'm there.
8. Alright, good. Well, close enough anyway. So, first time we've had mechs on the cast, so how you doing?
I'm doing fine. First time casting, actually.
Ever? No? It's your first time casting ever, or just...
Yeah, it's my first time casting ever.
Interesting. I'll try to be gentle.
Don't have... yeah, I don't have a lot of experience with this, but Eric keeps talking about it, so I think I'll be fine.
Yeah, if he can do it, you can probably do it.
Oh my.
Let's be
Yeah,
honest.
if he can do it, then I definitely can.
Yeah. Oh, snap.
That's usually how that works. It's very simple. First, they play a game, and then we ignore most of what happens in the game, say a bunch of stupid crap, and then the game ends.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, well,
I mean, like,
I can do that.
I try talking about the game occasionally, but it just ends up getting sidetracked, so it's like, why even bother?
Case in point, right now. This is exactly what happens, is you try talking about the game, and then you end up getting sidetracked by the fact that we're not talking about the game. So, this is very meta, but anyway, speaking of the game, I don't know if you've had too much time to look over the lineups here, Mex, but...
Yeah, I checked the lineups while I was loading, and I think, like, going into this, Hellborn has to do really good in the laning phase, and then they have to like split fish a lot and get powers to win this. I think.
Yeah.
I don't think they can take fights at all.
Yeah. I think I haven't mentioned all is the fact they're running a dual support versus a jungler, which is generally not great. In general, dual support does not do very well against jungle lineup, and Tempest already at 240 gold per minute. You compare that to the 2 supports on the Hellborn side, neither of which have a creep kill. And that's sort of what I'm talking about.
I kind of like pulling the lane if you play dual support, like the hard lane. I mean the safe lane, so you can get some farm.
Flux in the middle lane is definitely going to die. One more auto attack, yeah, that's it. And just going to take the first death, which is a good thing. Hellborn side need to do a little bit more of that, maybe. Even if I want to stay in, because you can see, even with the Bloodlust, they don't have an experience advantage. They've got a 500 gold lead, which is pretty much entirely the Bloodlust gold, so... I mean, early on, they're taking an even laning phase, which is not going to work for them. They need to take an advantage on a laning phase because as the game gets into the mid game, the Legion side's team fight gets more powerful. They can push more effectively, and then of course they can still carry. So we an issue. Empath
Yeah,
ball.
pretty much. I would have liked to see Revenant top actually, pulling the pull camp and getting XP and some farm, getting his level 8.
With it?
Sorry.
Or you mean farming the woods with it, or just actually just
I mean
having
stack and
pull
pull.
the...
Yeah, stack and pull. Get some XP.
I don't know how effective that would be, honestly.
And middle lane Flux going to be in a lot of trouble once again. A couple more autos will finish him off. Revenant, yeah, does not miss.
Oh.
So.
But do you mean
Flux.
Revenant or do you mean Rhapsody? Because I mean having 3 people against the Kraken seems really inefficient to me.
I think Switch.
No, I mean having Revenant top, pulling the wave, and then Rhapsody mid. I think that's a stronger lane.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
I mean Magnet.
Sure.
So.
Yeah,
I agree.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
And Rhapsody Magnus is a better kill lane for that matter than Revenant Magnus in my opinion. Although hey, they've killed this Flux twice, so what the hell do I know?
No, I agree.
Yeah, that's like just the Flux screwing up, shouldn't I, to this lane, especially not this early.
Okay. I mean, it's Flux. He's got 3 minor totems and 2 fortified bracers, or 2 crushing claws, so 910 health seems like that should be enough to survive, and yet he's having issues.
Yeah, he should definitely not be dying.
Speaking of the jungle, we only have 1 stack on the pole camp here. Everything else is not stacked. Another thing about dual support that people just don't do. Anyway, speaking of Flux, once again, he's going to get caught out, and he's going to play the release now, but he's going to die. Magnus has a haste rune, but he's not going to die as he keeps taking the bottle, so yeah, the Flux is not doing great here. It's real bad times, but they need to stack this jungle, because, I mean, they've got a Shadow Blade who can take stacks fairly effectively, actually, with the Gargantuan Blast.
Yeah, I think Revenant should be going bottom runes, and then he stacks the Ancients when he goes by, and then Rhapsody gets the top.
Like, I mean, the advantage of, one of the very few advantages of having a non-jungle lineup is that you're supposed to be able to get stacks in the woods and then put them on your hard carry so you can boost his GPM either during the landing phase or immediately after it. And they're really not taking advantage of that too much here. Kraken is level 5, going to chase down this Rhapsody a little bit, who's only level 3. Staccatos doesn't get put down, so she should be just fine. But once Kraken hits 6, this Rhapsody needs to be real careful.
Yeah, I mean, like, their top lane hasn't been doing well either. Like, Kraken has gotten way more than it should be. Like, the lane control has been messed up. They're absolutely in stack and restore it. So, and, like, that's also an issue. Like, both Flux and, despite having dual supports in Hellborn, they can't really shut down the Legion heroes. Well, they managed to kill Flux a few times, which is, like, way better than expected. But, like, Legion has the lane set up where they don't get punished by the fact that they lack a supporter in the laning phase.
Right. What a surprise. Army of Mums is playing Kraken. Have you guys ever seen this before?
A few times, yes.
Oh, really? I didn't even know he played this hero.
I think he played
him play anything else?
Yeah, I think I've only seen that on him, to be honest. Almost.
I mean, like, this is a legitimate question, Quincy. Does he play another hero? I'm not sure.
Right into the sarcasm.
I'm quite surprised he got as much as he did from top lane. I mean, especially since they put Rhapsody top. I don't think he should have got it.
Flux again. Eruption's going to go off, and that's going to be another death on Flux. The question is, can they get a counter kill? Magma's not going to be a lot of trouble. He's definitely going to fall. Revenant looks like he will be okay. Plenty of health, and obviously has Essence Shroud anyway, so not in too much danger. So they finally lose the Flux, but get something out of it, which is kind of nice, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's really nice. Like, locking down the Magnus is the most important thing for Legion at this stage. Like, he's the only playmaker and, honestly, early on damage dealer for Hellborn. So, like, he's the key target to try to shut down. I really like the Tempest being more active here as well. Like, at this level, Swiftler should be okay on his own against the Drunken.
It's
at level 6,
quite poor. Like, if you check his gold per minute, it's not doing very good.
Who are you referring to?
Tempest. I'm not sure if he has camps blocked or
he didn't have any camps blocked, I don't know.
No.
He just didn't
I'm not sure what he's doing.
He does
right
have
now
he has a triple stack here in his hard camp, so that might be part of it, but
I mean, considering Revenant is like, I guess you consider him or compare him to Tempest, and they're
Drunken Master is getting jumped. He's gonna need a couple more autos to finish him off though, yeah, and Swiftblade does have the damage to take him out. He's also gonna run away from the tower, so he should be just fine. So getting the kill on King Nicky real easy. Middle lane actually Flux falls as well, as they just keep beating Justman down, man. I mean, not a hero we've seen him play a whole lot. He's very often a gauntlet player, but I don't know how much I've seen him play Flux, so perhaps a hero he's not particularly comfortable with, but it's definitely not working out very well. They will push this bottom tower, so that'll help get him some gold.
Yeah, hopefully don't see him play Flux again, because it's embarrassing.
Yeah, this isn't great. And, I mean, to be fair, all the kills are going to Revenant, so it's not that bad, but it's not great.
Yeah.
The Legion have
But like I was saying
destroyed
before,
the Hellborn
before
tower.
Swiftblade was diving in the tower, I mean, you gotta compare Revenant to Tempest, and they're the same farm. So I think they're doing pretty good on the Hellborn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Hellborn is outplaying Legion at the moment. For sure.
Right, I mean, their laning phase should be stronger. They do have... anyway, Tempest on 2 in the bottom lane. Pretty much just going to allow Swiftblade to get away. They're only going to get counter kills out of this, as Revenant and Drunken will basically just be held. And then they're going to leave. So Swiftblade will be fine. 420 GPM on him. He's the top farmer in the game. And below him are Shadowblade and Magnus. After that, it's pretty bad for the Legion side, so a lot of their eggs are going to be in the Swiftblade basket. And if he can have an effective time, then this could still go very well, but if not, then it could be an issue. Apparently somebody just dropped from the call. Maybe both of you guys dropped from the call?
Oh, I'm still here.
No.
It seems like Axel disappeared. Oh, hopefully he'll be back soon.
Yeah, well, for the meantime, just do dual cast. That's often,
Yeah, it
often
seems
why we
like
have 3 people.
Yeah, Swiftblade seems to be going for a Rune Cleaver here.
Yep.
Not sure how much I like it.
I mean,
I feel like
it
I
could
feel like
be a null
Swiftblade
stone.
Rune Cleavers could be.
Like,
I don't
they
think
do
so.
have a fair number of single target spells that would be nice to block. Meantime, they're going to catch out Rhapsody. Actually gets the Essence Trap put down. They don't have any Invis attack, which is a pretty serious misplay. I mean, you're going against a Revenant, and you're trying to basically start a team fight there. You have your entire team, and you don't bring Dust, Revs, anything like that. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
They
I
lost
see
at least
like
one
way
from-
too many teams make that mistake way too
Yeah.
often, like not carrying dust revs around us as well. So I can't really like. It's a really common mistake, and I'm not
Right.
sure why people just keep forgetting about it. But it happens, unfortunately.
And Rhapsody going to be in some trouble as well. Anyway, I did pick up the double damage room, but looks like she's going to die. Splash Shot are going to easily figure it out. You know, in the middle lane, they kill Flux once again.
Yeah, Magnus was hiding in the trees and just charged up his ultimate and stunned in there. Just needs a kill on the Flux
The
with
trees,
1000
man.
health.
Lava Surge away, but the Glacial Blaster's still there again. Essence Shroud, and they don't have Dust. They do actually have some on Empath, which is way too far away. So maybe some lack of communication. Whatever the problem is, it's not working out. I mean, you're used to seeing this in like even mid-tier TMM, where teams get hard countered by Invis because they just don't buy Revelations. But I mean, these are 2 good teams filled with some pretty good players. Like, Solaire Club is not a bad team. They're in the Gold Division, and they're not going to be in Diamond anytime soon, I don't think, but they're a good team. Like, they've hung around for a long time. They perform pretty well. xDis is new as a team, but they're full of strong players who've been around for forever. And, I mean, they're not ones making this Invis mistake, but point is, this isn't exactly, like, a complete fail on both sides. Anyway, Magnus being able to not do anything, as they spend too much. They finish off Rhapsody. I don't know. I'm really surprised that they haven't learned from their error yet.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what Legion are trying to do here either, like grouping up this 5 and pushing when they don't have like any core items completed on their heroes. Like Sipri has to stay in there. It's not going to do anything. Tempest doesn't have an
The
Astral
Legion
Leap.
have destroyed
They're probably
the
going to get
Hellborn
this
tower.
eventually, but if like Hellborn is split push, I think they're going more out of it.
Revenant's dead. At least Kraken actually didn't do very much there, so I think it's mostly because there's basically nothing that the Hellborn at this point can do about it. They're just like, we can take 3 towers. And they may not need all 5 heroes. I think they can probably just leave Swiftblade bottom and let him farm. But without a portal key on Magnus, Hellborn really can't do anything about the push. They can take all tier 1 towers and just get some free.
Yeah, I agree that they can pressure definitely. I just don't feel like it was an efficient way to do it.
Right.
Like it was too early or without key items to group up. But I mean, they got the mid tower and they got a few kills, so it turned out okay for them.
I'm okay with them, with the timing of it and everything. That was fine. They had the Astrolabe on Tempest. I think they should have left Swiftblade bottom and let him farm the lane because they didn't really need him.
Yeah, I think Tempest got this Astro from the tower kill, so it's nice.
Oh.
Denied.
Hello, you back?
Hello.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Not a problem.
Lost my internet connection.
Okay,
I should
so you're
probably
low.
be in the same time.
Yeah, we're at 12:50
Okay.
in the in-game time, or 12:51, 12:52,
Yep.
53. Alright, good stuff. Anyway,
Okay.
top lane, yeah, two-man Tempest Hole, and there's gonna be a charge onto Drunken, who actually jumps back into the Tempest Hole. There's Rhapsody dead as well. Looks like Shadowblade made a lot of trouble as he dies. The Swift Slash will finish off King Nick, so ends up being a 3 for nothing, as they use a couple of pretty valuable ultimates, but they get some kills out of it, so who cares? That's gonna turn into
Yeah,
top
Legion
tower
really
push.
tried to like save people from Tempest ultimate in the team, but they didn't quite pull it off.
Right.
Like Drunken decided to jump back inside.
Right.
Yeah.
Kraken's like, no, go this way. It's dangerous over there. And anyway, dust out on Magnus, and he's going to be in a lot of trouble. They can see him. He's going to try to teleport away. The question is, can they stop that? No, they can't, so he's just gone. And yeah, so Kraken trying to save his friend, and Magnus is just like, or Drunken Master's like, I want to be. It looks fun. All my friends are over there. Let's go try it.
Destroyed a Hellborn tower.
This is something they do quite often though. Like if someone gets jumped, they all carry ports and they instantly port. So it's
Solaire
really
Club? Yeah.
easy to get caught if you go too deep.
Yeah. I mean, Solaire Club have been around as a team for a while now, actually, and they've been relatively stable, especially in the Gold Division, which is often full of teams that change their rosters relatively frequently, as you guys know.
Yeah.
So do we. So
just you might have some first-hand experience with that. I'm just suggesting it's possible.
yes,
No,
yeah,
I
I do.
think it's
Actually,
I've been in this team since
No, no.
I was an ogre, and before that I was in this team. So
Yeah. Yeah, but you were an ogre like 4 months ago,
yeah, something like
which
that.
I guess is not that short a period of time, but still.
yeah, I have to like bring up the Swift Blade Cleaver. I don't agree with it at all. Like
Oh,
it seems like
yeah.
Legion team is trying to like force fights and push, and the Cleaver doesn't do anything for it. Like Swift Blade Cleaver is if you want to go heavy split push, I feel. With Swift Blade, you just abuse his spin and ability to port out, and like you can't even do that against the Hellborn teams. They have a superior interrupt in launch and Revenant and Magnus for easy ganks. So I don't know. I don't think it's very good, but I mean they are winning team fights regardless, just because of their superior draft to me.
Right. I don't think it's a big. I don't. You're right. It's not the greatest thing. I don't think it matters because look at Shadowblade. I mean, he's got 400 GPM. Like, it's 15 minutes in. He's got
That's Swift Blade
400
is quite
GPM.
Yeah, he also went
I don't,
for
I
the
don't think it's gonna
yeah, Shadowblade also went for the agility build instead of the strength build, so he's going to be even weaker in early team fights.
And Rhapsody's dead.
and the word is gonna be found probably.
Yeah, I probably will. Sorry, Max, you were saying something?
You were saying he has really good farm, but I think it doesn't really matter because of the Swiftblade farm and their lineup.
That's what I'm saying. No, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying Shadowblade has good farm. I'm saying he has bad farm. He's got 400 GPM, which is not where I want him to be at this point. Like,
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
in a dual, like I said before, in a dual support lineup, you're supposed to stack the jungle and allow your carry to take off in GPM after the laning phase, or even during it if they're effective at farming jungle stacks early. But like 410 GPM is not that good at 16 minutes into the game for like a true number one. They're not really focusing anybody else on the Hellborn side. Magnus did pretty well in the middle lane, and he's got his portal key now, so he's not going to be, you know, oh, give all the farm to Magnus. It's going to be Shadowblade, and yet he's just now that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's part of the problem though. Like Shadowblade doesn't farm that quickly
Yeah,
early
that's
on.
Yeah.
And like with this agility build, you brought out the strength build earlier. That is really hard to kill, but with this agility build, you carry it's really hard in like the extreme late game, but it's much more less useful in like early mid game encounters. So I'm a bit scared like what will happen for the Hellborn team. Like they can't really do anything to the leading pushes, and they don't really have good split push either. So I'm not sure how they'll deal with it.
They got a tower at least. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they'll finish off all tier 1, so nobody having a tier 1 tower left. Top lane, Shadowblade is perhaps in some trouble. We're seeing the rotation from the Legion side come up as Empath is heading up here. Tempest already there. He has a Tempest ultimate, so shouldn't be difficult to lock him down. Not Shadowblade, I mean. And now Shadowblade, not really sure where he wants to go, because he's realizing pretty quickly he can't do that. Glacial Blast going to stop the teleport. Not sure why he thought that was a good idea. We got a rotation from Kraken and Flux as well, and Shadowblade's just totally screwed, so lack of vision.
I mean, you never know if he DCs and the port goes out, so I guess there's that chance.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean,
Other than
like,
that.
it might have been helpful if it was behind the tree instead of next to the tree.
Yeah.
But
Well,
what do I know?
Yeah, they would have used Tempest Soul at least, I think.
Yeah, but then at least
Yeah, I
before
mean,
Tempest
I
Soul.
don't think he'd gotten away regardless,
Yeah.
but yeah, that was not going to happen.
And it's partially, I think, because Hellborn's wards are not particularly defensive. So it seems like they're pouring all of this money, or all these resources into getting Shadowblade into the late
The
game.
Legion have destroyed
He's
a
going this
Hellborn
agility build that
tower.
wants to go late game. But their jungle's really not all that protected. I mean, they have one ward sort of in the middle of it, but they can't see any of this top river, and that's
Yeah, I think,
what
like-
happened. He couldn't see anybody, so he died.
Yeah, I think the ward in their own woods is really curious. It doesn't really like let them accomplish anything. It doesn't
Yeah.
let them farm their wood safely, because by the time the ward spots them, it'll be too late. Apart from that,
Yeah,
I feel like the ward is all fairly well placed to let him farm. Like the ward to the bottom left, next to Legion's tier 2,
Right.
top lane, that like appears to be an aggressive ward, but it's really just a really good ward for carries to farm that allows them to push up the top lane and farm freely, like really easily. So I really like that, and I think like the bottom ward, the bottom rune ward, allows them to farm the ancient safely. So I think those two wards are fine, but the one in their own woods just doesn't make sense.
I'm gonna
No,
drop
I guess
one in the
they
lane
wanted
as
to fight top tower, but they decided not to.
Yeah,
And he warded in
makes
case they were.
Yeah, so we got a lane ward in mid, so that'll help out a lot, and it'll be rather difficult for Legion side to bring multiple heroes up again like that without getting spotted out. So Shadowblades would be able to farm a little bit safer, but at the same time, I'm not sure if it matters. I mean,
no, I mean like Legion are admittedly like not playing this very efficiently. They are like grouped up a lot, which kind of makes sense against Revenant and Magnus and PK, but still, that means they can't like use their rune cleaver and stuff like that on Swiftblade. So as long as if like Hellborn just stays spread out and keeps farming and avoids fights, I think they could get back into this game. The lead isn't huge by any means. Anyway, spotlight.
Frankie
yeah,
is that here?
he's going to be at least in a lot of trouble and very possibly totally screwed. Tempest Ultimate actually be used, so I mean, we'll get the kill, but I'm not sure if that was entirely necessary. And I mean, it's not like they're grouping up all that much anyway, so very possible they're just looking to use it. Hellborn's Curry actually dies in the middle of Kraken. We'll see if he
Mid lane.
gets killed for that, but it doesn't look like he will. Yep, actually
Oh,
push
that's
away,
like a
and nope.
flex ulti.
And
Yeah.
Magnus has a Lava Surge, so he's just fine. Essence Link's down on Magnus, but he's going to be able to walk away because there's really nothing Empath can do about that. I was going to say something now. So how about this idea of let's put all our stuff on Shadowblade. He's the one that's really going to do all the damage and stuff in these fights against a Kraken and a Tempest.
I feel like they don't have any interrupt for Tempest, so if he just ult his Shadowblade, I don't know how they're gonna win this. So
Yeah, I mean that's like part of the problem. They have like they could like try to spread it out more, have the Drunken.
Right.
If Drunken picks up the farm, it's still like a multi-core lineup. As it looks right now, like they are essentially just farming the Shadowblade, and that's just not going to work against the Legion team. Almost all the heroes they have are really good against a single core draft. So
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
I mean, like,
mostly
the
what I'm
numbers
concerned
were-
about.
yeah, the numbers aren't that one-sided yet, but like looking at lineup and like farm distribution, this game is heavily in Legion's favor.
Yeah. And, you can sort of see where it's going to. I mean, after the laning phase, Hellborn actually had an advantage. They had a pretty strong laning phase. Obviously, Flux repeatedly dying in that middle lane was a big problem. And the Legion team has since brought that back. The rotations have been very good. They've picked up kills. They're up 11 to 7 in hero kills now, and they have a slight golden experience advantage. So, I mean, they're not in control of the game as of yet, but in the beginning we were like, yeah, I think pretty much all of us heavily favored Legion's draft. It looks a lot stronger. It also looks a lot like what we're used to, so there's some bias in there. But I mean, more importantly, it's just you can see how it fits together. Hellborn, not so much, and despite the poor laning phase, it just seems like it's been going Legion's way in general.
Yeah, it's not really like about the draft being like unorthodox. It's just about it doesn't seem to fit together very well. Like Revenant, Magnus, ganking oriented, yet they have like Drunken and Shadowblade who, well, aren't going to be very useful in that regard. And like they don't have a good way to split push. They don't have a good way to take fights. They don't have a lot of damage. It just seems lacking in some aspects.
They can't counter push against Legion's decent push. I mean, they have Tempest, so.
Yeah.
I think also a point to note is that they prioritize Farmer Magnus over Drunken after he got his PK. I'm not quite sure if that's worth it. What do you guys think?
I don't think so. I'm not sure if they prioritized it or if if they are just like not giving a fuck. But
Right.
no,
Yeah.
Drunken should definitely farm more Magnus like after the PK. Like a tablet.
I mean, I was
just
just thinking about Drunken farming really aggressive on the Legion side of the map without any vision.
Yeah, I guess it could be like if Magnus is busy setting up plays. I'm not sure how much Magnus has been farming past the laning phase. I think they've like dedicated essentially half the map to Shadowblade,
Right.
which suggests that he's like in a 1-4 role.
Anyway, top lane, Rhapsody gonna get jumped by a couple of Portal Keys. Tempest and Kraken both have their PKs, so easy kill. Teleport is cancelled. This looks like it'll be a top tower push, or bottom tower push.
At least they can split push top,
Yeah,
so that's good.
but they're not gonna do this as fast as Legion are, so. And
Yeah, if they have wards,
Yeah.
they can defend that.
Swiftblade
And
isn't
that's
even
also
here,
like
so.
Some damage.
I feel like the Shadowblade can't just be farming the woods right now. He should like be pressuring lanes and stuff. He can't just, I don't know. He's putting no pressure on the opposing team at all. Like, Legion is getting towers while he's sitting in the woods. Like, he could be split pushing mid right now or something. But it's just, I don't know, not affecting the
Can
game
he?
whatsoever.
I mean, he's not the most effective tower taker. He's not the most effective wave pusher. I'm not
I
sure
know.
what there is to gain by sticking him in the middle lane. It seems dangerous and potentially deadly, and then.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, when the Legion are pushing with 5 people in another lane, there's no
Right.
real danger to it.
I don't think
And,
he
like,
should be with them though. I think it's
he's
the
not
same thing. Swiftblade should not be pushing with his team because they don't need him. Shadowblade should not be pushing with his team because they sort of need him, but they need him more to not do that because it's going to be more efficient for him to farm in the woods while they take towers.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
more
not saying that like he
dangerous,
should be
but-
pushing with his team. I'm saying that he should like try to when has the opportunity to apply pressure to the opposing team. Like right now, he could go if the lane was pushed up, he could rotate top and push that out, stuff like that, instead of sitting in the woods all the time. It's not really affecting the game in any way.
Anyway, in the middle lane, they're going to drop the release Kraken right on top of Drunken Master's head, and a Tempest ultimate to catch him,
Oh.
and Magnus too, which is huge. Tablet out from Mag. We'll see if they can kill Drunken. Yes, they can. Flux pulling everybody back in. Looks like they made some pretty serious damage to this Shadowblade here. Rhapsody ultimate immediately canceled, and he's dead. Eruption going off in the background, going to kill a couple of, no, just one actually. Empath the other one to survive, as Tempest barely lives. Magnus now also in a lot of trouble, and he'll die too, so. The initiation.
That fight could have been totally different if Magnus was a little bit further away from initiation.
Yeah.
What interrupted the Rhapsody ultimate, by the way?
I have no idea.
Destroyed a Hellborn tower.
I feel like he might have just moved on his own.
Essence Link might have been it.
Okay, yeah,
I
that
think
could
it was
be fair
probably
enough.
it, because I think Essence Link was on Rhapsody and Swiftblade was jumping around with Swift Slashes, so it probably broke the range and
Oh yeah,
stunned.
that makes sense. That makes sense. Shouldn't blame him then.
There's a solid Rhapsody ultimate until that. Didn't last very long. Anyway, Kongor's gonna be killed here, so Token presumably having Swiftblade, he'll drop his teleport. And a game that was relatively even just a few minutes ago has progressed in more or less the direction we expected, and now Legion have a pretty substantial lead, and it's going to take some throws for them to win this game at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they don't have a venue to come back for like the Hellborn team. That's the problem. They can't really, gank them or they have some limited gank potential in like Revenant, Magnus, but not a lot. Like I don't know, Shadowblade just needs so much more before it's going to outcarry Swiftblade.
I mean, we saw in
And
that
they don't
last
have
fight.
anything.
We saw in that last fight,
Yeah.
Shadowblade just didn't do anything. Like, he got locked down by a Kraken and a Tempest, and it's like, well, now I'm dead. It's great.
That fight could have been really good for them though if, like I said before, Magnus got his ulti off.
Yeah.
Like when they jumped him.
Well,
It's kind of unfortunate.
I think they would have killed the Tempest because he got real low, but nobody else was all that low, and I still think they would have killed the Shadowblade, so maybe it would have been better. I don't think it would have been good. Anyway, bottom lane,
No, he
Tempest is
probably
dead,
still would have
as
died.
he just gets wrecked, so...
Yeah, at least like they are making use of the Revenant now, trying to get. I mean, like every pick they do like burns Legion from pushing in for another minute. And like now Shadowblade is also like pressuring the bot lane and forcing Legion to defend there. This is kind of what Hellborn needs to do. Keep picking people off, keep pushing out lanes so like Legion can't try to end the game. Because if Legion like makes it to Hellborn's base without as 5 people with Token, I think it's going to be really hard for Hellborn to defend.
I think
I
if
think they should be ready to trade towers or base even. If it comes to that.
Yeah, if they get a chance, definitely.
it's literally going to be a matter of can they pick up a couple heroes. Actually, Swiftblade going to be in a lot of trouble right here, and he's going to drop the token. It looks like Release Kraken, but the Flux Multi pulls everybody in. Huge, and they're going to get destroyed. So Slash is going to go to the neutral crypts a little bit, but there goes King Neke. Meanwhile, Shadowblade, the only one to survive. He's going to try to teleport out. Can he get this? No, he can't. No, actually, he can't. Flux, he didn't get the charge. I don't know why. Kraken hit the tree.
He just hit the tree. Yeah.
Regardless,
really
they lose the token, but they take 4 heroes with a pretty fantastic Flux Kraken combo. And that's going to be a mid push, it looks like. And on the Hellborn, only Magnus has buyback, and he's probably going to need to use it if they want to avoid losing racks, because I think they can. Well,
Something they did before the fight though was that they had 4k. I think 4.5k on Shadowblade before they took the fight.
Yeah. Oh, Tempest Ultimate onto 2 as they do have the Magnus buyback, and there goes both Rap and Mag. Or on Shadowblade, excuse me. What am I even talking about? Magnus is the other one that's dead. Yeah. He was dead. I was just a little premature.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much over now.
Yeah, I think so too.
Like there's buyback Shadowblade 50, but we'll see.
I mean, there's no more buybacks on anybody who's dead. They've got 40 plus seconds on 2 heroes.
Hellborn barracks has been
And they can continue
destroyed.
taking racks if they want to, but it looks like they don't. They're gonna back off. So
I don't think this was necessary, but
no.
the top lane was pushing in as well. But I mean, they can play it safe. I don't really see how Legion can lose this game either if they go back until they have their ultis up and then move in again. Hellborn needs so much more time for Drunken and Shadowblade to truly take off.
Yeah, I mean honestly, I feel like the safe play is actually what would have been taking top racks because.
Yeah, I don't know. They might even start buybacks. I figure.
They might be afraid of buybacks. Good point. Although if they didn't use them while they were taking mid racks, it seems like they maybe don't have them. But
yeah.
If I were them, I have no interest in letting Hellborn do anything. I mean, yeah, that's fair.
You just want Hellborn to get out of this game.
Well, I'm just like, I want everybody to do what I think that they should do all the time. So, I think that Legion should have pushed top right there. So they're wrong because they didn't do that. It's very simple.
Definitely.
Well,
anyways, Swiftblade got a shroud as well. He's almost 6-slotted. Well, he's 6-slotted at this stage. He can still replace Energizer and Abyssal and upgrade shroud. But yeah, he's way ahead for everyone else in this game.
Yeah, well, he has 660 gold per minute. That's fine.
Yeah, I don't think so. He hasn't really been using the Rune Cleaver that much though. His CK is still like the same as Shadowblade. This his team having way more map control, but whatever. It hasn't really changed the game.
I mean, ideally, I guess, if you get everybody caught in a Kraken or Tempest ultimate, then that Cleaver can do a crap ton of damage with the splash autos, but...
Yeah, that's just so situational.
It's not something I would expect to really be legitimate, but...
that could be the reasoning. I've heard several people advocate Rune Cleaver with the Tempest and stuff like that. I just don't see it as
I mean, to be fair...
If you catch enough people for it to matter, I think you'll won the fight. But,
they did catch 5 people in a Flux Kraken ultimate, and I would imagine that the auto attacks that Swiftblade was putting through in that was doing a lot of work, because they were all right next to each other.
I just think they would have won that fight even without Rune Cleaver, if they get 5 people in the Kraken ulti.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's kind of hard to it's kind of hard to come back from a 5-man Tempest or a 5-man Kraken ultimate. Anyway, they're gonna push bot a little bit, at least pressure it. And Hellborn gonna be forced to respond. Legion decide slow pushing this, knowing that mid is gonna gradually push in, and eventually Hellborn will be forced to something to do with that, and then they can take an advantageous team fight, hopefully. This also prevents Hellborn from doing a sneaky Kongor, of course. We should be back up in at least a couple of minutes.
Yeah, Legion can use it slow push stage until they get their racks. Oh.
And yeah, Drunken wants to do something. Eruption in the background, actually. They're really not doing all that much right on the tanky heroes. Wiz Kraken right there. They will finish off Magnus. Here comes Drunken Master as well. In the background, Rhapsody ultimate immediately cancels his Tempest, catches everybody. And it looks like Shadowblade, the only one who's just survived so far. Buyback on Drunken Master, so he's coming back into this fight, but he's basically just YOLOing in. And he just ran past the Legion side and died and didn't do anything, which was...
Yeah, Magnus didn't even hit a single person with his stun either, and they are this far behind. It wouldn't have mattered, but if they want to have any chance at this stage, they need to execute it flawlessly, and they didn't, far from it.
They did not do that, so... Game 1, gonna go to Solaire Club, which really we mostly saw coming from the beginning, I would say. It was not that difficult to figure, they're probably gonna win this game because their lineup was so much better, but I don't know. Dishonored stuck in there for about half an hour, which seems like it's 15 minutes too long for me, but I'm just being a dick, so. Anyway, if...
well, I mean, like, the golden experience were kinda even at 15 minutes.
I mean, they had a good laning phase,
awesome.
to be fair. I'm not sure how much of that was them having a good laning phase and just been just feeding on the flux, but either way. Final thoughts there, Max?
I think they could have had a chance, Hellborn, if they didn't take those 2 fights. I think they lost a lot of momentum when they lost. And if they managed to get into the later stages of the game with some farm on Drunken and Shadowblade, I think it was, they could have stand a chance to win.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's what I think they had to do.
Well, nobody cares about what you think. Sorry, I'm bored. I'm feeling unreasonably salty. I don't know why. There's no reason for me to be. I just feel like throwing out some random insults at people. So
Yeah, you haven't casted in a long time. I
Crapula
understand it.
is gonna. That's true. I haven't casted in like 6 days, so I have a lot of BM to get out of my system before I feel right again. But Count Crapula, what crap do you have for us?
Yeah, essentially I think Hellborn won this at the drafting stage. They were superior in essentially every aspect. Legion, sorry. Yeah. They had like better lanes, better late game, better mid game, better team fights. Maybe equal gank potential, slightly worse possibly. And I think like Hellborn didn't execute the draft properly. They should have split push and used their ganking advantage with the Revenant to try to delay Legion's pushes and teamfight ability, but instead they just tried to take them head on several times, and they simply couldn't beat the Legion draft in a straight up 5 vs 5 fight. There's no chance of that.
Right, fair enough. Well, that'll do it for game 1, and we're going to be moving on to game 2 in just a moment, so stick on with us, guys.